Voices of Defiance, special report number 2, recorded and streamed live Thursday, September 24th, 2015.
I'm Neil from Legends Podcast, a podcast member of the GonnaGeek network, just like the one you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready, because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1...
Welcome to Voices of Defiance. It's a podcast about sci-fi's television show Defiance and all of its universes to include, but not limited to, the video game. We're not experts, just a few fans like yourself that love the show and want to geek out about it. If you haven't caught up to the latest aired episode, you might want to pause right now and go catch up, since there will be spoilers. You have been warned. And now, let's have some fun and get on with the podcast.
Woohoo! Three-way fights! Hello, I'm your host of Voices of Defiance, Stargate Pioneer. And with me is the woman who is a very dangerous woman indeed. Her name is Shannon.
Hey, guys.
Hey, today we'll be talking about Season 4, Episode 2 of Continuum, Rush Hour. Just a reminder, you can catch us at GonnaGeek.com and go to the contact page and find all the great ways to reach us, including our voicemail line, 612-888-ARC1 or 612-888-2751. Yes, we are a sci-fi defiance podcast, but as we wait for news of Season 4 or cancellation, Shannon and I have decided...
Don't say that word.
Shannon and I have decided to bring home Continuum in its last 6 episodes. This is a special report number 2 of 6. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, don't forget, we do have a Redbubble store. Sean put the Voices of Defiance artwork on Redbubble, so just search for Voices of Defiance on redbubble.com. You will find all the great products that you can put our sticker on and you can have. And Shannon, did you get your next shirt yet? You were going to get a sweater, right?
I sure did. No, I got a t-shirt.
Okay.
And 3 stickers.
You got the stickers on the car yet?
Hell yeah, it's already on the back of my car. Only one, though, because I plan on getting another car probably the next 6 months or so. So I got to have a replacement sticker.
Yeah.
And then one, if I want to give one away and replace that. I don't know. I'm probably going to go back and get the hoodie.
Okay.
But I got to get it quick because this particular shirt that I bought, this particular image that I bought, has the faces on it.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
It's completely copyright.
Right.
So I got to snatch that up before it disappeared.
Absolutely. So good luck there.
It's awesome, though. It's an awesome picture.
Yeah, I'm telling you, some of the stuff you can get on there on Etsy, everywhere, it's great. And I can't wait to get my Voices of Defiance phone cover if we get a Season 4. I'm waiting until the announcement. And oh, by the way, let's talk a little bit about that. So there was a news report that came out on one of the renew or cancellation websites. And What did it say?
Well, it says that we're in limbo. We're like, no crap. I already know. See, I get those Google alerts. So anytime that we get a alert for Defiance, I put it out there. So I put it out there, but we already know that. So it's not really news to me.
Well, we did get a lot of feedback, and we'll get to all of it later at the end of the show. But there is one thing that I wanted to point out is that we got a tweet that said basically last year it was renewed on the 25th of September in 2014 for a Season 3. So as we record this today, that is a day away. So we are still within the window that it was renewed last year.
Yeah, but you know what? Because they took so freaking long last year is the reason we lost Mercado.
I don't think that's such a big loss, personally.
No, but what I'm saying, in general, the contracts are getting either close to being up or up. Right. So that worries me.
Well, whatever they give us, it's going to be great. Now, I have subscribed to a lot of the renew or cancellation websites and stories and stuff like that, and the comments are overwhelmingly positive. There's dozens of comments every day saying, we need this show. It's a great show. It's one of the best. And yeah, it is. Defiance is really good. So I don't know what sci-fi would be thinking if they didn't bring it back. Unless...
I don't know either.
They're worried about what the storyline could be, and basically they would have to wrap up everything in one season of 13, 12 episodes.
Well, if you look at the ratings were higher than Killjoys and Dark Matter.
Yeah.
And those are 2 great shows, but they got renewed really quick.
Yeah, of course they did.
So for them dragging their feet on Defiance I can't figure sci-fi out, and it just makes me angry. as the days go by, because I think they already want to renew Defiance. I just don't know the holdup. Is it with the writers at the moment? Is it because they're worried about the money that the show cost? We heard Kevin talking about the amount of money that cost to do the cosmetic eyes for Doc Yule.
Yep.
I don't know. It's definitely one of the better shows that we've seen in a long time, and they would be fools not to renew that show.
The only thing I could think of is maybe there's some creative differences between the powers that be at NBC Universal / Sci-Fi and Kevin Murphy, and that they want to go in slightly different directions. But eventually, when it comes down to it, it is a cheap property at this point in time to eke out one more season. So if they can get the actors back, if they can reasonably produce a fourth season, I don't see why not, because I know that they're bringing on some good new shows, but their slate, it isn't completely full of everything. So we'll see what happens in a week.
I'm telling you, you know how I feel about a particular 4-letter word company.
Yeah,
channel.
Used to not be 4 letters either. So.
It used to not be, but now this makes it so damn easy. So the 4-letter people, I don't really like them so much, but I'm telling you, if they don't bring this back and they completely ruin the lineup for me, I'm going to be done for a while.
Well, there is some good stuff. We'll talk about that later, but there's some good stuff on Sci-Fi, and they're moving forward. They're looking for that AMC Walking Dead sort of thing where they put something out or BSG.
So they're not going to get that because they don't keep their people. They don't keep anything up. Even if we got a Defiance season 4, I honestly believe we wouldn't get a 5th because it's not their MO.
No, they would not give a 5th season 2 Defiance. It's just not going to happen. But I think it's a strong possibility we'll get a 4th. We'll just see. I don't know if next time you hear us, if the announcement will be out, but definitely the time after that. So about a 50% chance I think we'll hear by when we record this in a couple of days, when we see the next episode of Continuum. I know Canada is a week ahead. Space or Showtime, I think it's Showcase, is showing Continuum up there. They're a week ahead of Sci-Fi in the States. So we're just podcasting when we can get them on Sci-Fi here in the States. So that's why we're waiting. We will have another episode on Friday. We will podcast on it on Sunday. And this is Thursday. So there's a 50% possibility we'll know by next time that...
Speaking of waiting, I really thought that we would know something about Defiance after they aired the last episode in the UK.
Yeah, and that was recently, too.
It's like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Last week?
So we'll see.
Freaking people renew it already.
That's right.
Making me angry.
So transitioning on to another Sci-Fi series, actually Showcase series that was canceled, basically. They gave them the final 6 episodes. It's Continuum, their 4th season. We are on episode 2 of 4 right now, Rush Hour. And it was written by Shelley Erickson, and this is her 5th total Continuum episode. She has a lot of writing credit, but I didn't really recognize a lot of the shows that she's on. And then also it was directed, as last episode was, by Patrick Williams, who is a Continuum executive producer. He has 17 episodes under his belt there as director. So it's the 38th episode in the series. Obviously, we're going to get to 42. 42. So it's going to...
I wonder if Amanda's going to come back and direct any of them.
I don't think so. I think I've seen all the directors on the list of episodes, and I think it's either Patrick Williams or Simon Barry. So we'll see.
Nice.
Okay. So this had some good parts into it. It was definitely what I would term as setup episode for the rest of the season.
Definitely.
So we'll start out with Obi-Wan Kellogg.
Yeah. I had the whole Obi-Wan moment there too.
Like, dude, he looks like a dressed up Obi-Wan Kenobi. The only thing different was his colored scarf or whatever, or his robe. I don't know what to call it, but he was...
You have to listen to me, to you, to me. Yes. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Is the fatherly advice a bridge too far?
I don't think he's buying it.
He's not, but at the same time, it's him telling him what to do. And I think he's trying to tell him something that he doesn't want to do. I think the soldiers are trying to do something that ultimately will kill him, but they need his resources until they get to that point.
So you think his soldiers are not really with him?
No, I think Kellogg has told them to kill him as soon as they get done whatever they want to get done. Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Which is why they won't tell Brad.
And they won't tell Kellogg either, yeah.
I like Brad, But at the moment, I don't know where he stands. Like when he's like, man, I lost it whenever they're throwing you, when they threw you off the roof. I'm like, when they threw her off the roof, you stood there, did nothing.
Okay, so Kira and Brad had this nice hug, right? I
trust you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I looked in his eyes and he does not trust her. And I looked in her eyes, and at the time I was thinking, I don't know. I did watch it twice. The second time through, I was convinced, especially when she was talking to Carlos, that she does indeed trust Brad.
I think she's found a substitute because I think she knows she's not going back, and she is wanting to be able to find happiness, and I think she wants to find it with Brad.
We discussed it last time. She does not have anywhere to go back to. Her future does not exist right now. It's gone. And that's where the soldiers came from.
And even the dream, she was ahead, so that wouldn't have happened.
Right. The dream sequence, or the CMR dream sequence, induced dream sequence last episode, yeah. And there was a couple of times in this episode they said the same line. I don't know if it's sloppy writing or editing or if it's meant to be something, but we have to play this smart. It was said 3 different times.
Which means they might have done it wrong the first time, because you don't really know how many times that we've gone around this bend, you know?
Right. So I have no idea what's going on. Although I tend to think this is the conflux. Like the first time through it didn't work. So creepy old man Alex Sadler sent Kira back. Although he had foreknowledge. So this is at least the second time through because he knew to send her back. Oh, well, there goes that theory. I was going to say that this might be the second time through, but no, Alex Sadler knew.
And I still think that the old mysterious seer from the future is Kellogg.
We didn't see him this episode. Hard to say. We did see Chen. So Chen is creepy.
He is creepy because you can't tell what his motives are. You can't read them.
You have no idea. And he's constantly reading the future, right? So if you go, you probably didn't watch it, but The Flash, last year it was his first season and on the CW network. And they had this computer called Gideon, which would see into the future a newspaper article. And depending on what was in the newspaper article would determine whether they had changed anything for the future or not. In this particular case, you have the seer that's with Chen that will see what's going on, and it's constantly changing, and that constantly changes what Chen is going to do. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Marcellus is also creepy because he's like hell-bent on world destruction, I think.
Right.
Who knows what's going to go down in that building? Renovate their way to a better future.
I tell you what didn't go down in that building was Alex's girlfriend, because I'm telling you, she kicked some ass.
She did, man. And Alec is just sitting there like, okay, at some point in time, I realize Alec's superpower, as Lucas calls it, is behind the computer. But at some point in time, the dude's got to get some.
His superpower is a geek. He has no muscles. She is clearly the one that protects him.
I know, but at some point in time, he's got to learn a little bit of self-defense because he could have taken that guy out or at least delayed it to the point where Emily could have come and helped him finish it rather than she fighting 2 guys at once.
No, I don't see Alec being able to take. No.
Oh, so I mentioned it at the beginning, and you mentioned the fight, so I'm just going to bring it out right now. The 3-way fight was incredible. So you had the fight between Emily and 2 guys. You had the fight between Carlos and Travis, and then you had the other fight going on basically with Kira trying to save Kellogg. So the choreography and
she drowned him?
Yeah. Yeah, she drowned him. Like
the choreography between Roger Cross and Victor Webster.
Travis and
yes, thank you.
Carlos,
thank you. That was brilliant. I loved it. And then you get to see he actually shot Carlos.
I know, multiple times. Point blank range. Okay, so you're in law enforcement. You're the expert on this. Is that vest going to stop a point blank? We'll just call it a 9mm or 40.
He would not be up and walking around.
Would the vest stop it?
Right. Well, I think that it depends on the caliber. It depends on the caliber and how close.
Well, law enforcement usually uses 9mm or 40 cal. So one of those. Would a vest stop it?
It probably would right there.
Wow.
But man, that's going to be a hell of a bruise.
It is. And we've already discussed, or we've seen in
he would be on the ground, out of breath.
Right. Carlos is Superman. He really, there's something with his genetics or something that he is a superhuman sort of guy. And we've already seen it in previous seasons. So I can kind of see it, but I still have doubts on whether Vess is going to stop.
I don't know if it would have stopped all of them right then, but he was shooting all in one spot. Something would have went through.
Right, because it'll stop one. I might believe one, but if you unload the clip point blank, it's just not going to happen.
And it depends on where you load it, because you have that plate that's there in the middle. And if you get off of that plate, you're just going through Kevlar. You're not going through the plate. So I don't know. That would have hurt a lot.
But that whole fight was great because he had the gun drop and Carlos shot him in the arm.
And then he shot him in the knee.
Yeah, the whole thing was great. And then, of course, Dylan comes along and saves him. Dylan, who is clearly, he knows he has to be with Kellogg because that's all he's got left, right? But at the same,
he's creepy.
A little bit, but at the same time, he's like, he respects Carlos. And he's like, yeah, no, there's no way that you need to die over this. So he saved him. That was cool.
I was kind of surprised because, all along in season 2, you knew the direction that he was heading. You knew that he was going to be trading on his own people. So at the end of season 2, when Sonya blew him up, I was like, yes! Because, I really didn't like the guy. I was like, okay, good riddance with him. But then, of course, he comes back. Damn it.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily believe that he survived, but okay.
Oh, see, what do you think has happened to him?
No, I think he did survive, but if you go back to the explosion when Sonya blew everything up, there's no way he could have survived that, the way it was pictorialed. It was just too big of an explosion. The shock wave alone, the blast
wave. Why would it
wave.
only scarred one side of his face when it completely killed him?
I'd have to go back and actually see the scene and see how he was facing and stuff like that, but I don't know. So we talked about the Brad Kira conversation before, and he gave her gun back. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to miss that, the super soldiers?
I don't know. She still has their pin, too. She didn't give him the pin. So right there, she doesn't trust him either.
Well, no, she does, but she gave it to Alec, and Alec's going to do a once-over on it, and then she'll give it back next episode or something, yeah. So we'll see there. And then I was wrong. It was Kellogg's men who kidnapped Emily.
Yeah, clearly. He needed leverage.
Poor Emily! Jason, tell me I'm your mom! Tell me I'm your mom! And nope, you can't. Nope.
You're not it. Sorry. Next.
She's like, well, what am I wasting my time with this guy then with?
I'm kicking ass and saving his life every day. No.
And his kid's not even mine.
Yeah, so next. So that leaves, who's the mama? They got to bring another girl in between now and then in the last episode?
What if Kira's the mama?
Oh, don't do that. Don't say that.
Garza? Garza could be.
I don't think so. If it's not Emily, we get some slim pickings.
Remember that old Alec specifically sent her back and was specifically treating her nicely. It could happen.
I like that scenario better than Kira.
We'll see. Who knows?
Well, honestly, if it's not going to be Emily, and if they're going to close up the story, then you've got to be able to
not necessarily. Okay, so go back to Caprica, right? And so you had a mom come in at the last second, basically, for Adama.
One of the shows I never got into because I knew it wasn't going to last.
I don't blame you.
And did it last? No. What happened to it?
Okay, so
what happened?
Yeah, right. So the past week we had 2 shows, 3 actually, but 2 shows that premiered, Minority Report and Limitless. I honestly did not watch either. I was a little bit too busy, but now I'm thinking, I don't know where these are going to end up. I don't want to waste my time. So I'll wait until they get through their first season, and then next summer I'll watch everything.
And they're promoting both of them at the New York Comic Con.
Right.
There's going to be panels for Limitless, which...
Obviously. they're big properties right now, but I just don't know if they'll make it past the season 1.
But guess what panels they're not going to have?
Yeah.
New York Comic Con, Sci-Fi. I'm extremely disappointed in you.
I know. It's just not their season, though. The fall season belongs to AMC, belongs to the main networks.
But you would think if you... Okay, going back... We're switching gears again, guys. Going back to Voice of Defiance. If we're going to be getting a 4th season, wouldn't they be out there promoting it? Last year when they were promoting season 3, they were at Monte Carlo. They're, doing all sorts of cons and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I can't get in their minds. Don't know.
Leave in disappointment because, the 4-letter word disappoints me. So let's go back to Continuum.
Yes, please.
I love the fact that she drowned Kellogg.
It was awesome. It's like, leave me alone. I'm helping. And Dylan's like, well, all right.
Yeah, well, let's let you drown him in front. I never liked the little prick anyway.
Right. So a little bit of me is thinking, maybe he's like, this is not a bad thing.
This could cure all of my problems, actually.
Either Kellogg goes away or he's saved. And either way, I'm the hero for allowing it to happen.
Like, wait a minute. You're actually bringing it back? Oh, damn it.
There's no downside here. So, yeah. Oh, Lucas and Alec working together, code buddies.
You know, I like the fact that Lucas was the one helping her out of that mess.
I know. She's like, figure it out. And he's like, I don't know what this is. It's some chemical. Ooh, that's a war agent. So yeah.
He was good at it. I mean, he took care of her. Sometimes I think he took care of her better than Alec normally does.
Well,
because
now
Alec is pretty self-centered.
Just a little bit. I mean, he left to go take care of Emily, which needed to happen, but because I don't think she would have made it out had Alec not had the guy open the door.
Know, girl problems. Ever since he's had Emily, he
doesn't have her anymore.
Oh, that's true.
She's gone.
Maybe pay a little bit more attention, less distractions now. But ever since then, he's been extremely self-centered. It's all been about what his girlfriend. I mean, he helped create this, and he understands that he helped create it. You would think that he'd be a little bit more receptive to helping everyone around it. But he drops Kira at the drop of a dime. So I like the fact that Lucas was helping. I also like the fact that you could see Garza was so surprised to see him. Which, okay, I didn't understand this. Garza was so surprised to see Lucas there helping.
Right.
And she came in all, her feathers were all ruffled. She saw, but then she just sits down and eats dinner with them. I'm like, okay, I'm mad, but yeah, I'll eat dinner with you.
Because Kira talked some sense into her. It's like, look, this is the way it's got to go. So look, either you're with us or not. And it's a little professional courtesy between the two. They had some bonding moments earlier, right?
Let's see. Earlier in the day.
Earlier in the series.
Well, no, not the series. Earlier in that day, you had her partner and their friend shooting it out in the street.
Yeah.
You now have Marcus in jail.
You mean Travis?
Oh, I'm sorry. Travis is in jail.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's okay. Let's go have some dinner.
It's more of a, here's where we're at, and we need to move forward.
Well, it has to be.
Yeah.
You no longer have Sonia. Travis is in jail. It falls to...
Garza is the singular Liberate person left, and Liberate really is dissolved anyway. I mean, Liberate doesn't really have a purpose. I mean, Kellogg brought it up in passing, but it might be the last Liberate mention that we actually get. I mean, you've got Alec's brother, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember. But he says, we all know this is how I end up, basically destroying himself, blowing up the building a couple seasons ago, right? So he's not all in Liberate either, right? So it's like destiny for him.
And Lucas is not really into it anymore.
No.
So, I mean, I think Garza, she has to concede. And
they're going to have a common enemy, and it's going to be a combination of the super soldiers and Chant. And they're just going to have to work on it and combine their available resources left and whatever. Ideally, if they had more episodes, they could have made that transition a little bit better. But if they go forward with this one team, one concept, Alex saying, okay, we're going to take a second and we're going to win this, but we have to win it right because we can't just kill Kellogg because right now Kellogg is controlling the super soldiers. So we need him, but eventually we're going to take him out.
And the super soldiers need him.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever purpose that hasn't been disclosed yet. And then they'll probably take him out.
Yeah, so, Kellogg is not long for this world.
Which, if Chin and the mysterious old seer guy starts giving them problems, then that would kind of validate what I'm saying, because if the super soldiers have come back, that's what I call them, if the super soldiers have come back to take out Kellogg, then if I'm right and the older seer person is actually Kellogg, then he can see what the super soldiers are going to be doing.
I'm still not sure I believe that, but we'll run with that theory.
I'm not sure either. I just by looking at this, I don't know. It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling.
So a lot of exciting stuff coming at us. Transition episode. I expect to see a little bit more action, especially with the super soldiers next episode and with their whole team. And we'll just see how it goes. It's going to be 4 weeks of fun for us, right?
I tried telling Sean that he needed to watch the first episode of the season because
the mechs and stuff.
The super soldiers are like stuff from Halo.
Yeah. What did he say?
He never watched it.
Sean.
I just don't think he's into it.
Watch well, eventually. We'll make it available to him. Keep it on the DVR. All right. So that's it for the discussion on Continuum Rush Hour this week. Next week will be Power Hour, episode 39, or 3 in season 4. Power Hour. We've gone from Rush to Power. Power. Hey, we got some feedback this week. Our pal David Armour on Facebook said, at least Roger hasn't betrayed anyone in the show.
Like you did in Dark Matter.
I know.
But you know what? I didn't see that coming. It was nice.
He's been in 3 really good shows, Arrow, Continuum, and Dark Matter. So Roger's making a name for himself. You go, boy. Okay, and then over on Twitter, we got a lot of tweets as we normally do because we have the Twitter social butterfly on this podcast. Her name is Shannon. So Donna Bloodworth said, "We want our show back. Please stop canceling good show and leave us with crap." And I have a little bit of umbrage with this, Donna, because, and by the way, she is at Pirate Dreamer on Twitter. And, Donna, I will say that has probably been the case ever since BSG ended and ever since SG-1 ended and Stargate closed up shop and stuff like that. However, this year, they've made a comeback. Now, they didn't start out strong before Christmas with that whole spaceship thing that really wasn't a spaceship, but we'll talk.
The show that won't be named.
Yeah, right. With Trisha Helfer. Great last 30 minutes. So
if Trisha can't save it, it's gone.
If you want to see the best of those 6 hours, just see the last 30 minutes. You'll be good. So, okay. So there was that, but then we got 12 Monkeys and then we got Season 3 of Defiance, we got Killjoys, we got Dark Matter, we're going to get The Expanse later on this year. I think they're turning a corner a little bit. I think they're realizing where their roots are, and I think that is going to propel them into the future. So we will, I think...
Still won't redeem them from me.
Yeah. We'll see. I think we're going to get a season 4. It's just days away. Okay. And then at Interstellar182, Stephanie Hall, she wrote us and said, "It would have been, but last year it took them until the 25th to release the information, so should be soon." So that is the information that we got from the 25th that we talked at the beginning of the show. At _sci-fi, that's PSYFY, said, "Nolan rides the butt plug."
That is never going to be, guys. We're always going to have that.
Thank you, Sean.
David also, by the way. David.
Right. And then at Alan _Gould said, "And anyway, you want to, #Renew Defiance, #Too Good to Lose." Yay. I just put that in there because a ton of people, this is not the only tweet that we got that we were tagged on. There is a ton of people tweeting #Renew Defiance. So keep it up until we get an announcement.
I've changed the top of my name on Twitter.
I noticed. And then our friend at Ocean363, that's Carolyn, said, "Thanks for one amazing year. So many guests. I'm really hoping that they #Renew Defiance so I could get to listen to more." And yes, thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate that. And finally, the last tweet that I picked out was from at Dreamality7, and also known as Princess Star Warrior, said, "I think the majority of everything related to Defiance tends to be naughty." Yes, it does.
Welcome to our podcast.
Welcome to the show. So, yep, thank you. Keep the great feedback coming in. We will have 4 more episodes for you no matter what. Shannon and I will be podcasting on Continuum, so it's going to be fun. So thank you for listening. Don't forget, we have a voicemail line, 612-888-ARC1 or 612-888-2751. Go to GonnaGeek.com, find all the great ways to contact us, our emails, Twitters, Facebooks, that sort of thing. So do you have any last words this week, Shannon?
I think you're going to get one more podcast out of me here before I go to the New York Comic Con.
That's right. We're going to have to schedule another time while you're away to podcast, but have fun there. And
then the very weekend after I come back is the Dallas one.
Yeah, oh man.
We know I'm going to that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be my 4th con this year.
I'm slightly jealous.
I'm telling you, it would not be happening if I didn't have this side job.
Right. So yes, keep supporting Shannon. Send your donations in to at Stargate Pioneer, and I will make sure she gets a portion of them.
Right.
All right. That's all I have this week.
That's all.
All right. Yep. We'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to Voices of Defiance. If you want to get in touch with us, you can catch us on Twitter at Voices of Defiance. Email us at feedback@voicesofdefiance.com. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/voicesofdefiance. Swing by our website, www.voicesofdefiance.com, or send us a voicemail on area code 612-888-ARC1. That's 612-888-2751. This podcast is not affiliated with Sci-Fi, the television show Defiance, or the Trion video game Defiance. Music titled after the Apocalypse by Schnee Schnook and Rocket Easy by Sound Rogue can be found on pond5.com. Catch you next time, and watch out for those hellbugs.
Okay, and then over on Twitter, we got a lot of tweets as we normally do because we have the Twitter social butterfly on this podcast. Her name is Shannon. So Donna Bloodworth said, "We want our show back. Please stop canceling good show and leave us with crap." And I have a little bit of umbrage with this, Donna, because, and by the way, she is at Pirated Reamer or Pirate Dreamer. She is at Pirate Dreamer.
I say Reamer.
No,
Okay.
sorry. She is at Pirate Dreamer on Twitter.
You know, it's funny is that you say you burnt plastic. I've got a very strong sense of smell. I have my entire life, right? I can smell roaches. And my dad can smell ants. The rest of our family looks at us like, whatever, you're crazy. But I can actually smell them and Sean's like, oh yeah, what does roaches smell like? I'm like, to me, roaches smell like burnt wiring or burnt plastic. That's that's the smell of roaches. I can smell crickets too. It's not a blessing. Especially, oh my God, when I was pregnant, my sense of smell was off the chain.
I'll bet.
I'm telling you, like you said, it's September 25th. This is the mark almost tomorrow. It's going to, I feel bad because if they're dragging their feet so long, if we got a season 4, every one of those people are going to have to film in the snow again.
Yeah, okay. It's the way it's going to be. And it was an unusually cold winter, so it'll be bad, but it probably won't be that bad.
Niagara Falls froze.
Yes, it did, didn't it? Broadcast has been successfully terminated.